Look, I'm trying not to go berserk on our guy Derek here because he
Big
does
D,
work
D-man, we love you.
33rd team, and you sir are entitled to your opinion. but what I really would love to sit down with you and just sort of figure out how you got to these rankings, because the fact that you have Anthony Richardson 2 spots ahead of Brock Purdy.
What are you doing?
And Tua, who was in the MVP race for most of the year last year. Like, and even ahead of I don't get it. Look,
What are you doing?
2024 offseason QB power rankings.
Yeah.
I agree that Stafford played like a top 10 at the end of the year. Yeah. You know, I just don't get it, and I know this social media post did really well, 3 million impressions in counting, and most of the comments were like, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" But you put it out there.
So on some level, mission accomplished, and we appreciate the content, but get out of here. Like, just get out of here. What are you doing?
No, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Defend your position. Defend your position is what I would say.
You can't put a list out here and not defend what you're talking about. Like you really think that
Anthony Richardson
these are
is ahead of
offseason
Brock
power rankings?
Purdy.
You think Anthony Richardson going into the offseason, he's 16. Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Tua, 17, 18, 19. Like, where are you thinking these things? You have no sample size. I do like that he put Bailey Zappi on here at 32, though. Mac Jones didn't even make the list.
Someone had to start for the Patriots. It might as well be.
So we're going to re-rank them, and I'm going to re-rank them because I saw this and I'm like, this is absurd. So top 10 quarterback power rankings.
Let's just do the top 10.
Entering the offseason, just the top 10. I don't want to rank all 32. I think it's dumb if you rank all 32.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Number 2, I went with Josh Allen. I think that Josh Allen would have been the MVP had it not been for so many turnovers this year. Led league in turnovers, right? Like, I think he would have been the MVP.
Now, listen. I think you and I both agree. Mahomes is number 1. 2, 3, 4. I think you can rank 3 quarterbacks in that order anywhere you want, and that would be Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson.
We've been doing this too long. Yep.
Right?
3 is Joe Burrow for me, and 4 is Lamar Jackson. Those are who I have.
2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I have no issue if you want to put Burrow ahead of those 2, or you want to put Lamar ahead of those 2. I got no problem with 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2, 3, 4 is fine. And those 3 quarterbacks in any order, completely
interchangeable.
Fine. Completely
I like that. Yeah. So in me, I had Joe Burrow as 3. I do like what Joe has done, and I think that obviously the injury concern. Lamar Jackson balling, MVP, second MVP, yet to win the Super Bowl yet, and that's going to be a big deal, or get to one even. Yeah. All right, this is where it got a little interesting for me, and I had to put away. I had to put to bed the 2023 season, because this is saying 2024 off-season QB power rankings. So we're looking forward to what could happen next year. Number 5 for me was Justin Herbert.
I would also put Justin Herbert number 5.
Yeah, I love the fact that he gets a fresh start. I love the fact that Harbaugh's working with him. I think he's going to be a completely different player if he stays healthy, which has not been the case the last 2 years. C.J. Stroud for me was 6.
Really? So just so I clear, so you had Stroud ahead of Hurts, Purdy, and Tagovailoa.
Hurts and Tua didn't even make my top 10.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm just making sure. So you have C.J. Stroud at 6. I might have gone Purdy at 6.
Purdy's 7 for me, so it's interchangeable, I guess, there. Yeah. Fine. So I think that was the hardest one for 6. I look at the growth that I saw from C.J. Stroud from this year, and I'm thinking about going into next year with a healthy receiver room, with some more weapons, with a second year in that offense, because you remember that Houston retained both Jared Johnson and their OC. Okay, their quarterback coach and their OC. That's huge. Both of those guys were in interviews to get jobs. Okay, so Brock Purdy, in my opinion, was 7. And quite honestly, like he could have been a little higher, right? But it's just like that's what it is.
It's a list.
Here's where it gets a little interesting to me. So I had Dak Prescott at 8 because I do think Dak played. Yeah, and that's fine. And that was my one that I was like, all right. I do think Dak has played some of his best football as of late, and I think he's going to continue doing it.
I agree with you, and he's probably going to get a monster deal this offseason because he has
$60
all
million
the
is what they're
leverage.
talking about.
Well, he has all the leverage in the world. His cap hit is 58 point something. That can't exist. That can't happen. Now, that's basically more than a quarter of what the salary cap is going to be. So that he can't have that cap hit, and the Cowboys know that, so they've got to extend him. I might have put instead of Dak at 8, I might have put Jordan Love at 8. I think
Jordan Love's
Jordan,
9. For me.
Okay, see, we're very like to me, Jordan is. I don't think people. If you go back from week 12 to the divisional round, I'm not sure a quarterback played better over that time stretch than Jordan Love. And they have such a young roster. They have the youngest roster in the NFL. A lot of talent. I just think Jordan Love's going to surprise a lot of people. All right, so I would have had Jordan Love one ahead of you. Then who do you have next?
Yeah, so I had Jordan Love at 9.
Yeah.
I think that he has finally settled in. I say finally. He started 1 year. Like, what are we talking about? I think he is going to continue to grow with that young receiver room, which is not being talked about enough. They're going to continue to grow. Jordan Love's at 9. And 10, honestly, it was I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback, to be honest with you. This going into next year, I don't. And so in that way, I'm going to put it was between Tua and Goff, in my opinion.
And I think what Goff has been doing. I would go with Goff as well. I would go with Goff as well.
I went with Goff.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that's what he didn't get enough credit, man. Like what he's been able to do there, he's been constantly counted out. Him and Dan Campbell, obviously, getting his offensive coordinator back is a huge win.
Yeah.
For the Detroit Lions, but yeah, that's the top 10. So it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, and Jared Goff.
Yeah, mine are very similar. We don't need to put your they're just a little different order.
Yeah,
but
pretty close.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson at 16 ahead of Brock Purdy. Come on,
I don't get it.
Come on.